What's up, guys? Chemist here from Meanwhile the Man Cave. We take a look at all things pop culture, games, toys, or anything we think is cool. And today, we are taking a look at the G.I. Joe Cobra Commander 1/6 scale action figure from 3-0. In 1981, Marvel Comics was approached by Hasbro to help revitalize the then struggling G.I. Joe brand. Government regulations at the time restricted the amount of time for animated toy commercials for kids. There had to be a certain amount of time that showed the kids playing with the actual toys, but there were no such rules regarding comic books. This loophole allowed for the advertising of the comic book, and the comic book allowed for advertising for the action figures, where they could feature all the different characters and play sets for the toys. Larry Hama had been developing a story starring the son of Nick Fury, the leader of S.H.I.E.L.D. His son would end up leading a paramilitary strike team. Larry had drawn figure designs and different biographies for a lot of the characters, but Marvel hadn't picked up the series. The series was supposed to be called Fury Force, but Jim Shooter had suggested to Hama that he develop adapting his ideas to G.I. Joe instead. And this ended up really defining Hama's career later on. Hama liked to keep a bunch of different index cards that helped him keep the characters and vehicles straight for all his different stories. And Hasbro got wind of these cards and wanted him to write these file cards to become a part of the packaging and a form of collectible. It was Larry Hama that insisted that an arch enemy be developed for G.I. Joe, so they just weren't going around the world on random maneuvers. And it was writer Archie Goodwin that suggested the terrorist organization named Cobra. As for Cobra Commander, he was originally a mail-in only figure released in 1982 and wore a light blue uniform and had his signature helmet. The early runs of this figure actually featured a variant of the Cobra symbol, a basically very early prototype, often referred to as the Mickey Mouse variant, and would later evolve into the Cobra symbol we all know today. All right, starting off, looking at the box for the maniacal Cobra leader. Pretty cool artwork here on the cover. Simple side art here. And some figure credits and some more artwork on the back. So let's take a look here. This should be more of a window box packaging here. And brief preview of the character itself. Cobra symbol here as well. And let's stop wasting time in this box and bust the Cobra leader out of his cardboard prison. All right, a brief preview of what we got here in the box. You've got the Cobra staff, a dagger, pistol, the Cobra Commander figure himself, with 6 extra hands outside the ones that are actually on him. And so let's get him out and take a closer look. Starting right off, we've got the Cobra scepter. Nice details on this. Scales and everything look really good. The paint app is nice. Nice little accessory. And the Cobra dagger for backstabbing his enemies. His signature pistol. Looks pretty nice as well. And his left and right pistol gripping hands here. left and right scepter holding hands. And they're identical, just left and right. And you get two relaxed hands as well. And the two hands that are on them are two fisted hands, ones that are on the figure itself. And you also get an optional cape, removable of course, with the red interior, black on the outside. There appears to be a wire in this as well for posing, but that's pretty nice as well. And here he is, Cobra Commander. Looks really nice, I think. The signature chromed mask here. The suit looks really nice. The buttons, tailoring is pretty nice here as well, in my opinion. Got the dual belts. Gloved hands. Colors are pretty nice to me. You've got this holder for his dagger, or his boots. Overall, pretty darn cool. Let's take a look at his articulation. You got your normal left and right motion, tilting forward, back a bit. You're not going to get an extreme back motion on his head just because the way the helmet is built, that restricts the motion there. His arms, your lateral movement. Forward, back, your elbow movement for shaking his fist when he's dictating to his subordinates. You also have the tilting there at the elbow. Nice movement to me for the arms. The leg, lateral movement. And you get your forward kick and a bit back. And you got your knee. Now, you have some tilting too at the leg. Seems to go really easy. You want to use that as a plant foot. Now, abdomen, no real motion there at his abdomen, and not a lot of twisting at the waist due to the restrictions of the uniform. Honestly, I don't think that's going to hinder me too much for the type of poses I would probably use with Cobra Commander. I don't expect to pose him like I would Snake Eyes or Storm Shadow. So I don't think that's going to be an issue, but we will see once we get him into some poses. So let's do that right now. So here he is in some poses. And you know what? I've got to say, I didn't really have any issues finding satisfying poses for myself with this figure. I didn't find his articulation restricting at all. He stood very well on his own without any type of figure stand, which is really fantastic to me. I really like the accessories that he came with. They were very much appropriate. I love the Cobra scepter that he has. The pistol's nice. And the multiple fists, hands were appropriate for what he had. I always tended to have his one-fisted hand on there. It just seems, very appropriate for this character. He's always yelling and screaming and, dictating out to his troops. And that's what you kind of want to portray with this character. I wish 3.0 would release the Cobra throne like Sideshow did years and years ago. I would love to have that with this figure. That would be an instant buy for me. But I think that's probably a long shot at this point. I did like how you can take the cape off too and get the more traditional 1982 release look to him. That was really nice. I like the uniform. I like how it was tailored. Seemed to work really well for me in particular. I love that his dagger strap there on his leg was free and could move around. The wire in the cape worked really well for me. The only thing that I would have changed probably with the cape is I would have added a magnet type system up near the collar. It would have made it easier when you were posing him for that not to pop off. The other thing I would have added, they seem to have missed the buttons up near his collar, underneath where his chin there, where it comes up. There should be 2 buttons up there. I wish they had those on there, but that's not something I couldn't add myself. Not a big deal. Maybe a little fabric glue and stick them on there. And so overall, I gotta say, if you're a big G.I. Joe fan or a Cobra Commander fan, to me, this is a must-have if you don't have the old Sideshow version. So, I want to thank you guys all for tuning in. I really appreciate it. It's a lot of work doing these videos, and your feedback and support mean a lot. And I want to thank you for tuning in again, and please come back every Tuesday at 9 a.m. for a brand new episode of Meanwhile in the Man Cave. I'll talk to you guys later.